guys. Welcome back to a live session of the Buck Mountain Barn. If you don't know, my name's Chris. I know the lives don't get a whole lot of views unless people actually watch them live. I've got to cut this. I gotta go get a beard trim, guys. This is getting ridiculous. Um, so today is about. First, I want to say I got some really exciting news. Uh, Yesterday was my biggest sale day ever. I mean, I sold 14 items yesterday. We're going to go over all those items. As you can see, they're all back here on the table, minus one. One was actually shipped out yesterday because it sold during my shipping time that I was doing. So I went ahead and did a same day shipping on that one. Let's see. I got a comment here. Let me look. Hey, Eric, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Uh, so the title says, "How has eBay changed my?" Hey, Grams, how are you, Teresa? Sorry. um, the title says, "How has eBay changed my life?" Or eBay has changed my life in the last 2 years. So we're gonna have a conversation, and it's kind of heart. It kind of hits me in the heart a little bit. There's some emotional stuff going on there with that, and I want you guys to know. I apologize if I do get emotional. I can't cut it. This is live, so we're gonna have to just deal with it, and just go along with it. Um, so I don't know exactly. I'm trying to figure out where to start. I did 2 months ago. I talked to. I'll go ahead and go ahead and tell who it is. Um, it's Corey from Grams and Pops. Me and him had a conversation. I was talking about putting out a video about how eBay changed my life. And he was the one that actually inspired me to do it because I was unsure if it was good for my channel. And he was the one that actually inspired me to do it and said that he feels like that there's more people out there that's going to resonate with me than what I actually think. So, hey, is that Pikachu plush you sold? Yes, I did sell the Pikachu plush. It's actually a backpack. Uh, so, so it's been 2 months since me and him talked. I was really excited about it that first week. I actually did a video, like I had some footage of what we're going to talk about today. I went to go get the footage today so I can do the screen share, and it's not there. So I don't have the footage. So we're just going to talk about it, and hopefully I can explain it the best way I can. Um, and hope you guys can understand where we're going from it. So here we go. We're going to start. We're going to go back in time. We're going to do time travel. And we're going to go back in time. Like I said, eBay's changed my life in the last 2 years. And I'm going to explain how and why and what's happened. And we'll go from there. I'm going to go back probably 2.5 years. I'm going back to December of 2021. Now, of course, guys, I've been selling since 2018. I've been selling on eBay. Well, no, I apologize. I'm wrong. I've been selling since 2019 on eBay. I did have my own remodeling business. I did do that for a while. And I was actually doing that when my dad passed away in 2020, May 17th, 2020. And I think that's where I started the reselling, not full time. I started doing it full time then. We had the pandemic going on at that time, and my dad did not die from COVID. He died from brain cancer. I will say that. Um, but so we had the pandemic hit, and then I couldn't do the remodeling business because of prices and stuff like that. Just customers just could not afford to do the remodeling at that time. So that was my business was really slow, and so I just couldn't do it anymore. So that's when I got into a little bit of metal work. You guys ever check out Mike the Scavenger on YouTube? He's got a YouTube channel. He goes around and dumpster dives. I didn't dumpster dive. I did other things. I just put out People were always putting out posts on Facebook that they wanted to get rid of metal. I'd go pick it up and take it to the recycling center, and they give me money for it. And at that time, money, metal, copper, aluminum, stuff like that was going really, really good, and was paying really, really good at that time. So what started that was is I already had that going a little bit. Me and my son was doing that also because during the construction thing. Because when I go in to remodel a kitchen or remodel a home, I take the appliances out and I take them to the recycling place, and we would just make money that way. So when I did the construction for a little while, we got out of that, went into uh, I guess you would call it like metalworking. I don't know what you would call that. We just went into recycling. We was doing whatever we could at the time, and this is during the pandemic. And I was doing a little reselling there. Nothing major, um, just on the side stuff. Well, what changed everything is a tote of Hot Wheels and a crock pot knob that come off of a 1970s crock pot. Uh, so as I was saying, I was doing eBay and I picked up a crate one day at the dump that is full of Hot Wheels. I knew nothing about Hot Wheels at the time, and I was like, well, I could sell this on eBay. So I started looking at videos and Hot Wheel videos. And of course, there's one that pops out. I made $1,000 in a month selling Hot Wheels. And I was like, what? So I got to looking at that, investigating it and stuff like that. And sure enough, I saw what he was doing. Needless to say, those Hot Wheels, I made about $300 on that crate of Hot Wheels on eBay. Cut the long story short there. The crock pot knob, I had a contract with a thrift store during my metal working stuff that I was doing. That all their small appliances they would test, and anything like electronics, anything that they would test and it did not work, they would throw it in a dumpster. So I had a contract with them where I put a bin out for them, and all that metal stuff, electronics, whatever it was, they would throw it into that bin, and then once a week I would come by and pick that bin up. If it was at the time, I didn't know about pots and pans and all that with eBay, so I was throwing the pots and pans at the recycle center, and I was making money for them. I ripped the handles off because I wouldn't take the handles; they just take it was either stainless steel sales, and at that time, stainless steel had good money. But there was a crock pot, and I remember watching Tim Osborne to Thrift one week, and he was talking about parting out small appliances on eBay. And I'd already worked with the Hot Wheels, so I know there was money there, and then I started listening a little bit more at this time, and so I took that knob off that crock pot and I put it on eBay. I sold that knob on eBay for $15 plus shipping. Now, granted, this was during the pandemic. Now, everyone knows that during the pandemic, you could sell poop in a bag on eBay. I mean, everyone knows that. You could sell anything you wanted to. So I was just that and the Hot Wheels just kind of changed everything for me. I started the electronics they was throwing in the bin. I started taking those and I started selling those for parts only, parts and repair. Because then I started learning about parts and repair electronics, and I still do that, and I make good money on that. Um, so that's where my eBay journey started. At one point, we'll get to it here in a minute. We had At one point we had over 6,000 items listed across Poshmark, eBay, and Macari. And then I was also selling on Whatnot. This is right around 2021. I became part of Whatnot. So we was selling on Whatnot at that time also. We was doing really, really good. Then, of course, guys, I want you to understand that this was during the pandemic. The pandemic, resellers were making money. There wasn't many resellers, and I believe a lot of resellers started reselling in during the pandemic. And then when the pandemic dropped off and sales started dropping, people were just couldn't believe it, and it was obvious why. Nobody could go out and shop, so everybody was shopping online. That was my opinion. And so, but I just kept trucking it because I started before the pandemic at part time, and I knew what was going on. I could see profit margins. I could see things, do good like they are now. Um, so and everything sounds good. So, and that's been 4 or 5 years ago. So everybody's probably like, well, how has eBay changed your life just in 2 years instead of 5 years? Well, there's a story behind it. So in December 2021, now I need to jump backwards. I do need to jump backwards and cover something real quick with y'all about me. I'm gonna I'm gonna open up a little bit. So I have medical problems. Uh, I was in Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and I was over in Somalia. And when I got out of this, when I got out of the service, I was diagnosed with PTSD. I was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenic. I was diagnosed with all kinds of stuff. My emotions absolutely go absolutely crazy, and I do apologize about that. Uh, so you know that part, okay? So I deal with that. I took medication for it, and I dealt with that for years. This is 2024, so what's that? 30 years I've been dealing with that, or all right? Is that 1990? Yeah, yeah, 30 years I've been dealing with that since the early 90s. Well, in of December 15th, 2020, I told that for a reason. A lot of people does not know that about me, but there's a reason why I wanted you guys to hear that, and we're going to go from there. December 21st, or December 15th, 2021, I contracted COVID. I went into the hospital, and I was getting better. I was getting better. I was I was just on a regular oxygen thing, not mask or anything, just a thing that goes in your nose. Um, and then on January 1st of 2022, I woke up, and my left lung had shut down. And it was due to Mercer. I got Mercer while I was in the hospital, and everything changed that day. Now I will say I had no idea what was happening to me. I had no idea how bad it was. I I remember a conversation with the pulmonary specialist he had outside my door. Now I was in a small town, and so they just put me in this hospital, a small town, because the one in Gainesville, Georgia, was overrun. They couldn't take anybody in. So I was there, and in a small town, and they had a COVID team there, and they just had like 4 or 5 rooms. Now I will say this: my wife had COVID also. Me and her both was in the hospital. Actually, she went in the hospital the week before I did. Uh, I went in on a Wednesday. She was already there, been there for a week. I went in on a Wednesday. That Friday, they let her go home, and I remember they let my wife come in the hospital room with me on that Friday, and she sat with me the whole time before she had to go home. And I didn't think nothing of it then, but I look back now, and it's almost like they knew, or they had a suspicion that I had COVID bad enough that it was going to be bad. Um, so on January 1st, 2022, I woke up, my entire left lung was shut down. I contracted MRSA while I was there. Now I didn't know. I mean, I noticed my breathing was really, really hard. I couldn't breathe as good as I could. I didn't know they had a mask on my face, just a regular oxygen mask instead of the hose again. Um, and they come in the COVID nurse, or not nurse, the head COVID lady. Well, I don't even can remember her what her title was, but she come in and she had a conversation with me, and she said they don't understand what happened, but they want to run some tests. And this is before they found out I had MRSA, but they want to run some tests and figure out what's going on. Well, I remember the pulmonary specialist guy very clearly. I mean, I remember him being on the phone with the head COVID technician, or whatever you want to call him, doctor or whatever, down in Gainesville, Georgia. And I remember him on the phone. I did never heard what the other guy was saying, but I could hear him through the door. And he kept saying, he says, "No, I don't want to ventilate him. Let's put him on a CPAP." Now, I want you to understand, this CPAP that I'm talking about is not the same kind of CPAP that people have breathing problems at night when they go to sleep. That's not what this is. This is something completely different, because that's what I thought it was at first. But well, boy, when they hooked me up to that thing, I was shocked. So anyway, he argued with the guy and told the guy, he says, "I want to put him on a CPAP because I believe I can make it work." And he says, "No, no, we don't need to put him on a ventilator. This is MRSA. This is not COVID. This is something different, blah, blah, blah." Because they've already run the test and figured out what was going on. Uh, so uh, apparently he won the argument. He won the argument. And of course, I didn't know what a ventilator was at the time. I didn't know what it consisted of or anything like that. I had no clue. Um, the only thing I knew at that time was that people that were getting hooked up to the ventilator wasn't coming back from the ventilator. So I knew that much. So the guy came in. I wish I could remember his name, but the guy came in and he says, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hook you up to a CPAP." And in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, it can't be that bad because this is a thing that people go to sleep with at night. And we're gonna give you some IV stuff. They gave me some IV stuff, fed me through an IV and all that. They was going to do all that instead of putting me on a ventilator. Is what he told me. He says, "I'm going to give you 5 days." He says, "If you're not, if he says the only way I can tell you is if you're not any better in 5 days, or if you start getting worse, we're going to have to go with a ventilator." And I says, "Okay." And we talked some things, and we did talk, and he did say my best chance, this was my best chance of making it. And at that time I was still trying to comprehend everything. I was trying to see what was going on, because I just could not in my mind understand that I was I was dying, and I didn't understand that. Some of you may not understand. At that point in my life, I was not the man of faith that I am now. Now, I've been saved. I've got saved back in September of 2017, but I just was not the man where I'm at today at that point. Um, and there is a biblical message behind this too, because the Lord showed me a lot of things during this time that I was there, of this stuff within me. And that I will save that for another time. But so they put me on the ventilator. I mean, not the ventilator, the CPAP. Um, and this CPAP, it covered your whole face, and they pulled it tight. Um, and it stayed on me. And what this CPAP did, it forced air in me, and it just kept forcing air in me. So, needless to say, I watched. If I was still in the hospital when Georgia won their first national title in 40 years against what's that team? Alabama. I was in the hospital watching that. I can't remember if I was on CPAP or not. I think I was, or I was on. Yeah, I was. I'll explain where I was at with that situation there. Okay, so For 5 days, I was on that thing, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't know where I was at. I mean, I knew where I was at, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that I was about to die or that I was going to die if things didn't get better. I just had no clue. Of course, I couldn't call nobody because I had this thing on. I couldn't talk. All I could do was text. I was able to FaceTime my wife, and she'd talk to me, and I shake my head yes or no. Because I couldn't. Every time I tried to talk, she couldn't hear me because it was all muffled. Um, I knew I was in bad shape, but I just didn't realize how bad. So after 5 days, my oxygen levels started coming back up. The antibiotics that they put in me to combat the MRSA worked. And so everything started going up. But after 5 days, they took me off the CPAP during the day, but they put it on me at night. I guess that's because they didn't have many people at the hospital at night as they did during the day. So during the day, they can watch me. And so for the next uh, 10 days, I think it was, that's what I did. Well, I don't know how many days it was actually. I just know the last week they finally took me off of that. So my last week I was there, they finally took me off of that. Uh, I tried. I was finally able to get up out of the bed. I had to do therapy for walking and all. And I'm gonna tell you something. I had no idea that you just could not walk. I mean, I was weak. I was so weak. I had to have a nurse help me take a bath. I mean, not a bath, but a shower, and that's kind of embarrassing, if it's not your wife or loved one or somebody. It was just kind of embarrassing to me. So I had to have all that, and I was pretty much an invalid. Is that the right word, invalid? I mean, I'm not making fun of that. I'm just saying I was just pretty much. So I was in the hospital for 31 days. 31 days. And they finally let me come home. When I was released from the hospital, they told me that I would be on oxygen for a year. I would have to um, invalid. Yeah, Eric said it there. They told me I'd be on oxygen for a year. So I came home on January the 18th of 2022, if I recall correctly. And I was told I was going to be on oxygen for a year. So during this time, oh, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I had a reselling business. I'm not going to lie to you. From nothing, the whole time I was in the hospital, there was sales being done because we still needed the money. We still needed to survive. Wife still needed to pay the bills, but she was having a hard time getting the shipments out on time because, like I said, she had just come home from COVID. Also, we didn't have nobody come to the house, and my mom came to the house, and she would drop groceries off on the porch for her, which I'm very grateful for that. My pastor at the time, he come by and he would help my mom out, and he would help my wife out as far as work that needed to be done. We had a real bad snowstorm while I was in the hospital, and the powers were out. He went by and hooked up all the generators and stuff like that for my mom and my wife. Brought stuff that they needed for them to help them while I was there. So I'm very thankful for my pastor at the time. Um, and so we had help, but whereas money still needed to come in to pay the bills. So I was still running my eBay store. A lot of shipments got late. I mean, I lost in my top rated seller. I went down to above average, and I was pretty close to going below that. Um, and then we went into credit card debt also because we was trying to catch up on everything else after I got out, and it was just a slow process because I wasn't fully healed. I could hardly do anything at that time, and I was doing everything I could, and it was just a very, very slow process at that time. So here's where, so I tell you all that backstory. I tell you that whole backstory to lead up to how eBay has changed my life in the last 2 years. And this is and I know that was a long story, and I apologize. I know it took 25 minutes to tell it, and I do apologize for that. But I want to be able to tell you guys where what's happened for me to be able to get to where we're at today. So that happened. Well, in May, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. In May, of 20, I just got out of the hospital in January. I'm struggling in life on oxygen. In May of 2022, uh, we did not own our own home. We rented a home for um, we did not own our own home at the time. We were renting a home, and we've been there for 10 years. And in 2022, yes, we have been there for 10 years. I have made improvements to the home out of my own pocket. I made improvements to the land. I was on 5 acres of land. I made improvements to the land out of my own pocket. In that 10 years, I've seen the landlord 3 times. Once was at the house to replace the hot water. No, I've seen him 4 times. I'm sorry. Once was at the house to replace the hot water heater. The second time was putting in a new heat pump. And the other 2 times was in town. We was never late on rent, even through the pandemic era. We never missed a late payment or anything like that. So in May, he shows up and he says that he needed to move back into the home because he had sold his home at the end of the previous year and couldn't find nowhere to live, and he was living with his dad, and he was ready to move out of his dad's place, and he was just going to move back into the home that he was renting us and do that. So he gave us 3 months to move 10 years worth of stuff. 3 months, guys, to move 10 years worth of stuff. Now, I will tell you, I got an eBay business at this time. At this time, I had 6,000 items listed across 3 platforms. 6,000 items listed across 3 platforms. So one Saturday, to finalize everything, he come over to the house, was sitting on the couch, and I'm just going to put him on blast. I'm not going to tell his name. He might watch or whatever. I don't care. But I asked him, I said, is there anything that we've done as tenants to cause this? Because I wanted to make sure everything, was not. And he flat out told me, he says, no, you guys have been the best tenants I've ever had, because he rented other properties. He says, you guys have been the best tenants I've ever had. You've never been late on anything. I've never had to worry about anything here. You've always fixed it and did this and that. And he says, how do you put it? He said, if I can't sell it, I'm just going to re-rent it for $1,100 a month. So within a 15-minute period here, he told me he was going to move in it because he could not find a place to live because he was staying with his dad because he sold his house, his own house. He sold it. Then he tells me that he's going to sell this place that we were talking about, we was sitting in. But if he can't sell it, he's going to re-rent it for $1,100. That's $600 more than what we were renting it for to start with. We was only paying $500 a month for 5 acres of land and a home. Okay, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. All right. So when he told me that, I knew right then and there what the problem was. He was greedy. It was during the pandemic part of the era where the housing market was absolutely going through this roof, where you could sell a freaking single wide trailer for $200,000 in that area. I mean, it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. So let's see. I'm sorry, chat. I'm talking. I'm not looking down. Office, Patrick, thanks for coming in. Lisa, thanks for coming in. Phil 5 Dime. Hey guys, thanks for coming in. So we had to move. So what we did was we were out in 3 months. We found a place at a campground that has a cabin. It was a small 2-bedroom, 1 bath, had a little loft in it. If you watch some of my older videos a couple of years ago, you'll see that room there, especially my Whatnot shows. So we're moving. I'm still not well. And we'll get to that health department here in a second. I'm still not well. We're moving, and I just backed the dumpster up to the house, and it was just one of them things like, hey, it is what it is. So we throw 3/4 of our personal life for 10 years that we've had away in a dumpster. I put it in the dumpster. I rented the dumpster for $300 and we throw it away. I got on Whatnot and I sold 20. This is back when I could sell 20-pound boxes. I got on Whatnot, went in my storage unit. I packed, I'm not going to call it a mystery box because we actually showed what was in the box. I put the box on the scale. When it hit 20 pounds, I'd seal it up and put it over the side. I did that for a week and I sold 20-pound boxes on Whatnot for a week. And I sold 6,000 items on Whatnot in 1 week in 20-pound boxes. I didn't make what eBay prices was, but I did not lose money. We did make money. But I did not lose money on anything either. Hey, Lag. So like I said, we found a cabin. It was only going to be $1,100 a month. That was water, all utilities included, trash, everything included. It was just flat $1,100 a month. So we stayed there till January of 2023. Beer King Picker, hello. So we stayed there till January 2023. And I finally just looked at my wife in December of 2022. I just finally looked at her and I says, look, what are we doing? My health is not good at all. I was trying to, my pastor had a construction business also, a grading business. And I would go every once in a while, once a week or twice a week and try and work with him. I drove a dump truck for him, which was good. But when I was doing those stuff, I just could not keep up. My health just wasn't, I can't walk to this day. I cannot walk from one end of my F-150 to the other end without having to stop and catch my breath. If you guys watched 2 days ago, me packing them 30 golf clubs, I know everybody had a good time and laugh about it, and it's fine. I'm not asking for, I want to tell everybody something right now. I'm not telling this story for pity or anything. Please do not get that, because that's not what this is about. I really am here trying to tell someone, because there's someone out there that might need to hear this to help them push on with eBay. That's because eBay changed my life, and we're going to get to that part here shortly. And that's, I'm not looking for no pity or anything, man. I mean, life is life. Things happen, and you just have to deal with it and push through it, get up and keep going. I mean, so please don't take that as that's what I'm doing here, because I'm not. No, 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 no. I want you to understand that. So yesterday or 2 days ago when we was doing the golf clubs things, I mean, that was hard for me. It really, really was. And some of you probably saw that in the video, how wore out it made me. And it did. So anyway, so I told my wife in December of 2022 when I was living there, I says, look, we got a 30-foot camper sitting over at our daughter's house in South Carolina. I says, there's a lot right next to them on the property that the man will rent us that lot. It's got a septic tank on it. The man will rent us that lot for $100 a month, plus pay the water bill, which makes it $136 a month. I says, why don't we go get the camper, move it on that lot? I'll get power run to that lot. I'll get a building. I'll put a building on that lot, have my eBay business there, and we can just start over. I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous, paying $1,100 a month. And we're struggling like crazy, especially with my health. I can't do the things. I can't even go get a part-time job. I can't even work at a grading company, driving a dump truck or standing by a truck, 5 days a week. I can only do it once or twice a week, and not even 8 hours a day. I said, we've got to make a change. We've got to make a change. I've got to double down on eBay, and we've got to make a change. So in January 2023, we packed up and I moved my 30-foot camper over here on this lot. I'm here at this lot right now. This is the building I got. Uh, and you guys know all about that. So, uh, so for a year, the rest of 2023, I'm putting everything I possibly can into eBay. Now, by this time, I'm not on oxygen anymore. I've come off the oxygen. But here's the issue. So now I've been diagnosed with what they call long hauler disease or long COVID disease, whichever one you want to call it. There's different parts of the country call it different thing. The reason I told you about my medical condition from the service is because all those conditions plus more has multiplied. Um, my medication's heavier now. I have more brain fog than I've ever had. That's one of the reasons why when you guys see my videos, I lose my train of thought. You know, I I can't remember what I'm even talking about. Um, a lot of times when I do a regular video, there's a lot of editing into that. That's why I wanted to try and just start doing live stuff and just doing it that way when I do my what souls and stuff. Just do it live and be done with it. You know, if I screw up what I say or whatever, it just is what it is. You know, you guys get to see the real me. Uh, so my paranoid schizophrenic is out of this world. I will say that. Corey from Grams and Pops, me and him had a conversation the other day about an issue I had with another person, and we talked about that. And my paranoid schizophrenic was right about what was going on, you know, at the time. But there are times that it's wrong. There are times that I feel like people are doing things to hurt me when they're really not. There are times I feel like that people are just looking at me weird and thinking bad things about me, and they're not. Things happen. I can't remember things. I can't say things right. Just there's all kinds of stuff that goes on with this stuff, and it's really frustrating. Really frustrating. Um, like I say, I wear out real easy. I can't walk from one end truck to the other end without stopping and taking a breath, you know, trying to catch my breath. I cut grass. Listen, I cut grass on a riding lawnmower and I run out of breath, guys. Explain how that works. I don't even know how that works, but it does. So I've been told by my doctors to file for disability. I refuse to file for disability. And here's why. Because even though my health is in decline as it is declined as much as it has, I'm at a stable, not a stable, I'm at a steady flow of where it's at, but I'm not going to apply for disability because there are people out there in worse shape than I'm in, and I can run my eBay store. You know, I can still run my eBay store. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to apply for disability. And plus, I love doing this. I absolutely love it. So, so since January 2023 till September 1st of this year, we lived in this camper. I ran all my business out this back room over here behind this wall behind me. You guys see my other live videos. I'm picking and grinning. You got a different view of the door being behind me. That room right there used to be our sitting room. Well, I had two recliners in there, and we would sit and watch TV because it's very uncomfortable in the camper to sit and watch TV. I mean, it's a big camper, so 30 foot with a slide out and all that. We got TV, everything in there. So I mean, it was just uncomfortable for us. So when I got this building, I put a wall here, and I turned that area over there. It's 12 by 8. It's what it is, and we turned it into a sitting room. I put my big screen TV on the other side of the wall there, and we had two recliners, and that's where we sat most of our time. We spent a lot of time in there. Um, so that's where we lived. That's where we lived up until September 1st. And I'm trying to remember the date, September. in March, April of this year, uh, we have found a home. We now let me change things up. So eBay, selling eBay and moving and doubling down on eBay, excuse me, helped my business grow. Okay. eBay has paid for everything I'm about to tell you guys about. eBay has paid every bit of it. Okay. eBay pays for this lot. eBay pays my camper payment. eBay pays this building payment. eBay pays the electric bill. eBay pays the internet here. Okay. All right. So before, it's always paid this here. eBay's always done this here. All right. Now, yeah, that's pretty much transparent. Because we don't have any car payments. All our vehicles are paid for, except for the camper. Okay. Uh, so now eBay pays for this here. Before, eBay did not pay for all this. eBay paid for other stuff, which I'm about to tell you. My wife does have a small income that comes in. She is disabled. My wife is disabled, and if you know anything about disability, you don't get hardly anything. So before eBay started paying for all this, she was paying her income paid for all this, and my eBay helped pay for everything else: groceries, gas, credit cards, stuff like that. Okay, so in April we found a home. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it's a trailer. It's a single wide trailer. It's a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, huge dining room, huge kitchen. Corey has actually seen it. I did a live video and showed him the place. And there is a live video of out there on YouTube of this place. I don't believe I've released it from private yet, but it's there. So when we got this place, it's a 1990s model. I'm not gonna lie, it's a 1990s model. It The outside looks like 1990s, but when we went on the inside, we put all new floors in it. We put all new cabinets in it. We put in the bathrooms, we put all new vanities, mirrors, toilets, everything in it. We repainted the whole place. We put all new appliances in it. So when you're looking at this from the outside, you're seeing an old 1990s trailer, but when you walk inside, you're seeing a 2024 trailer because it's all been redone on the inside, every single bit of it. And eBay paid for it. It took from April to September to get it all done. And eBay paid for every bit of that. Um, so eBay paid for all the materials. eBay paid for everything. eBay also helped pay my Home Depot credit card off. And I got 2 other credit cards that eBay helped pay off during that time. In April, I had Grams and Pops on Picking and Grinning. I think it was April, right around this time. Somewhere, it might have been a little bit before that. Uh, and me and Corey got talking about how he lists. I used to list items per day, 10 to 15 items per day, mostly 10 items per day. Me and Corey got talking about a dollar amount and how that works. And me and Bearded Picker, we talked about that also. Me and him have talked about it also, about doing a dollar amount instead of an item amount, a number item. So I went to $500 a day. Everybody throughout the whole summer, everybody complained about a summer slowdown. I had the best summer I've ever had selling eBay, even through the pandemic era. My average sales went from $300 a week, 350 to this was about $350 to $400 a week. My average sales went from that to $1,000 to $1,200 a week today, all through the summer. It only took 1 month for my sales to boost. In 1 month, my sales boosted 48 point something percent, because I remember looking at that and we actually talked about that on one of the show. And in the following months, my sales just keep getting better and better and better. My number of sales, my number of items keep getting better. It's just everything's moving out, and my ASP is going up. Now, sometimes I did have a weekend where I'm not gonna lie, I sold 22 items, but I only had $200 in profit off of it. I think is what it was. So, I mean, that's because I had a lot of low cost items in my store. So we're getting away from that. Bottom line is, I went through a hard time the last 3 years. We're going to say 3 years on that. And eBay helped me get out of that because of my perseverance and because of my friends that I have here. I call you guys friends. We never met. You could say we're acquaintances, but I consider you guys friends because some of y'all have absolutely helped me tremendously. You know, um, and I'm very, very grateful that you've given me sound advice. I will tell anybody that watches this video, watch Grams and Pops, watch Bearded Picker. Um, those are two people that are here consistently that give sound advice. I know there's other people here that give sound advice. There's Shane from Soda City Flips. There's Wolfman Goodies. There's Josh from Bama Jaybird. There's people out there that can give you really, really good advice. And if you just listen and to put that advice to use, you can go somewhere. eBay is not the problem. I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful, but it's your way of handling the business is the problem. And that's no disrespect to anybody. I don't want anybody to think that I'm being disrespectful. I just did this portion, and this portion right here, it will be cut out, and I will make a regular video out so it can go out and be told. But I just wanted people to understand me, who I am, where I've been, and what eBay has allowed us to do. So here's the thing. eBay has allowed us to keep this area where I'm at and pay the bills on it. eBay pays all the bills here, all the bills here. And we're still allowed to have another home and pay on it at the same time. eBay has done that for us. So what I'm saying is those of you out there that just don't think you can make it, just don't be like, well, that's Kevin or that's Kat or that's Rod or that's these other big YouTubers. Now I'm going to tell you something about them guys. I'm not down them all because they worked hard for what they've got. They've worked hard for it. Some of them have been doing it 20 plus years. They've worked hard for what they've got. So don't get me wrong. And that's what it boils down to. They've worked hard for it. It doesn't come overnight. You have to work hard for it. You have to be consistent. I read on Facebook all the time, it's eBay for beginners. I mean, people constantly complaining about eBay. No. Look at how, take a step back. Look at how you're running your business. Look at what you're selling. Look at your sell-through rates of the things you're selling. Look at your prices. Are they even priced too high? Guys, I'm telling you, I know eBay has its issues. I know eBay has its glitches. I'm not saying that. But for the biggest portion, it's us if it's not working. It really is. It's us. And we need to take a step back and reevaluate of what we're doing with our store. I took advice from two people that I'm very grateful for in this community. And that advice has made it possible for us to get out of a camper and get into a home. That advice has made it possible to be able to afford a home and my business location. I'm telling y'all, it was me that was causing the problem with eBay. It wasn't eBay. So this is how eBay has changed my life. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, sometimes, like I said, I get emotional. Um, so it's just very, very, it's very, sometimes it gets emotional for me. And those of you coming in late, you probably missed a good portion of this. And because I've been talking for 50 minutes now, and we told a story, and I did have video clips, guys, to show you everything before, after stuff. I did have all that. Like I said, I can't find the clips no more. I can't find the SIM card that it was all on. So I do apologize that you just have to take Corey has seen it. Leroy has actually been here and he's seen the process before we moved in. Leroy has seen it. So if you don't believe me, ask Grams and Pops Corey and ask Leroy. Uh, they've seen it, you know. So that's that's my story of how eBay's helped me in the last 3 years. Okay, now I'm going to say this. We've had the biggest sale day yesterday in one day during the week that I've ever had. So, hey, and we're going to go over the sales. I sold 14 items in one day for good money. They wasn't low profit items. They was good money. I've never sold 14 items in one day. I've always sold 14 or more items over a weekend, but never in one day. And that's just, to me, that's amazing. Again, it goes back to I've changed things in my store, how I've run my business over the past years. And I think that's why it took me a while to catch up to where everybody else is at that I look at and look up to. And so, you know, it's because I didn't do things right to start with. And then I started listening to people that's been doing it for a while. And hey, it worked for me. Now, a lot of times things don't work for other people, you know, but this actually worked for me. All right, I'm going to read chats real quick. I didn't get a chance to read no chat. Let's see here. You guys are pretty much talking back and forth. I'm trying to see. Beard King Pickers here. Thanks for joining, Shane. So to see Flips, Lisa. Let's see. We have Phil 5 Dime Lag. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Upstate Picker. Thanks you for being here. Yeah, he made a good point. eBay, look right here. He said eBay may have its issues, but my former employer had way more. Yeah, absolutely right, man, about that. That is a good point. Former employer was way worse, Beard King Picker says. Jennifer, thank you for joining, Jennifer. It's good to see you here. Of course, Grams and Pops are here. Let's see. Grams and Pops says you got a lot to be proud of, buddy. You worked your tail off. Thank you. I appreciate that. Somebody says hey, it's the pro bookseller himself. No, I'm not the. Oh, you're talking about Grams and Pops. 5 Dime. Yeah, Phil. Thanks for the man. It's great news. Let's see, blah blah blah. Hey, Corey. Okay, you guys talking chat. Okay. So now we're gonna go over what's sold. I gotta get this sweater off. This thing got hot in here. I'm gonna go over what's sold, and then I'm gonna pack. If you guys want to stick around, that's fine. But I'm doing the live, like you said, guys said. Of course, I'm going to end up editing this one because I'm going to re-download it. I'm going to take the first portion of it and make it a full video, and then the rest of it, it'll still be on the live. But anyway, let's go over what's sold. And real quick, I apologize. Let's see here. Let me look over here at my other screen here. All right, the first thing I will say yesterday, we sold a pair of one of those sales. I won't be able to show you because it's already gone. It did sell yesterday while we was packing. It was a pair of sparkle butt jeans, as Corey and Teresa like to call them. There was a pair of Miss Me jeans, and they went out the door for, let's see, give me 1 second. They went out the door for $29.14. I wish, did I show you guys? Did you guys get to see what I sold yesterday? Yesterday, I also sold a Red Heart Super Saver yarn. Sold some more yarn. $11.33, one skein out the door. Sold a vintage 1968 bookshelf for boys and girls, volume 1 through 9. It's a rare book set. These are things I shipped yesterday. Sold it for $53.78. I sold 2 small Valentine's Day plush hearts, plush. Both of those went out the door for $16.71. I sold a Wrangler Western Denim Pearl Snap work shirt, cowboy cut, long sleeve, 2XL. It went out the door for, it was new with tags actually. It went out the door for $26.21. Let's see. Nurataki. No, we covered the Nurataki plates already. Okay. So that's what got shipped yesterday. Let's see. And this is what we're going to ship today. Let's see. Oops. I hit the wrong button here. I got me my son didn't want the TV that he had. It's been in storage because he got a new TV. Oh, we've sold an item since I've been talking. So 15 items. Well, that was today. We sold that today. All right, let me go get this item and then we'll talk top shelf. I will be getting my ladders out of here. I do know that. I'm going to get them out today because they just get in the way. Or find a better place to put them. All right. Let me get this shirt off real quick. All right, much better. Okay. All right, so let's start with the first thing. The first thing is a Husqvarna new. It's a 16-inch chainsaw bar replacement bar. I got $5 into this. This sold for 50% discount because these things go pretty high. But I've had it for a long time. I had another one as a 24-inch, and we sold it for like a little over $100 last year because I've had this for over a year. This one sold with 50% off, out the door for $30.56 on this one. Let's see. The next is look, yarn, guys. If you guys remember, I went to the 50-mile yard sale. I picked up 2 big boxes of yarn for $8. We've already sold. You just hear me say we sold 1 skein. We did sell 1 skein out of that. Yesterday we shipped that. A couple weeks ago, you probably seen a different, like a pearl color. We sold 6 skeins. I think there's right around $40 or $50 we sold that for. Today we got 4 skeins of celestial stripes. These went out the door for $27.74. So that box of yarn, I still got more yarn, and it's well paid for there. Well paid for. Yarn's a good pickup, guys. Really good pickup. This next, and that was, yep, that wasn't on sale. Okay, next one is a Polo Ralph Lauren vest. I paid $4 for this. It's a 2XL blue prime cotton V-neck sweater. It's a vest, no sleeves. Out the door for $21.99. I'll go ahead and tell this. I had a pop-up Whatnot show yesterday. Sold 3 video games yesterday on Whatnot. Assassin's Creed 3, Uncharted 2, and Uncharted 3. These are part of that lot that I got off of Didbit. We've already sold 3, 4. These went for $2 each, by the way. 4, 4's 8, and 3 more. That's 11. So we've sold 11 games already out of that lot. It was 71 there at $2 a piece. So we're looking at what, $22 or something like that. So we're almost there. Almost there. All right, the next item, guys. I can't stress how important this item is. I would call this a bolo. Grams, Corey and Teresa, Grams and Pops, they would probably call this a bolo also. But guys, if you're not picking up car radios, man, you're missing out. Here's why. I picked up this one and 2 more for $10, $3.33 into this radio. I had one that had a tape deck. It was an old tape deck. It sold for $150 plus shipping. The same day I sold that one, the next one I had was a CD changer. And you know the little black cover that covers the LED lighting in the radio? It was missing off of it. It was a 6-disc CD changer radio, AM FM radio. It was missing that black cover. It sold for $50 plus shipping. Yesterday, this radio here has no CD, it has no cassette or anything. It's just a plain old radio. It's a Ford F-150 radio for 2004, 2006 OEM. This sold for $50 plus shipping, out the door for $64.79. So I've sold 3 radios for $200 in sales. I only had $10 in all 3 of them. Guys, if you're not picking radios up, man, you're missing out on sales. Missing out. This next item, I had $1 in. It sold for 20% off. I've had this for a while. This is when Cody Rhodes was with AEW. So I've had this one for a while. I picked it up. I picked a whole bunch of them. I picked like 20 of them up at Walmart. It was on clearance for $1. And I got this one and two more. Well, I don't have this one no more. This one's gone. I got two left. This is sold for 20% off. It's going out the door for $18.10. Guys, when I say out the door, I'm sure you guys understand that shipping is included. I mean, it's sold for $12.89 plus shipping. But I'm just telling you what they paid all in all with shipping also. I took all my free shipping off. Anything that was free shipping, I made it $3.99. Not going to lie. This next item I sold for 50% off because I've had it forever. I mean, I've had this thing probably 2 years, and I just never understood why it didn't sell. I mean, I probably could have sold it on Whatnot for a little or nothing, but it's a backpack. So it's a Pikachu backpack. Nintendo Pokemon Pikachu backpack, plush stuff bag, purse, whatever. But it went off sale for 50% off. It's out the door, $19.48. The next item is another 50% off. I picked this up at an estate sale. Probably got $1 in it. This is a vintage male, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. MELE. Travel jewelry box, case, line, hard shell, clamshell earring holder. This went out the door for $15.71. Oh, all right. The next item, I've had this for a while. It's sold for 20% off. This is a Linux. It is new in box. That's a set of 4 Linux mug set, green and white. It's kind of Christmassy, so I believe that's why it's sold. But it sold for 20% off. It went out the door for $54.08. The next item is some more Nirataki. I think that's how you say it. When I do all my plates and stuff, I go ahead and bubble wrap them and shrink wrap them and all that. But it's a set of 4 Nirataki Navarro pattern 2402 made in Japan salad plates, 8-inch in diameter. These 4 went out the door for $39.16. It's kind of like a flowery pattern, guys. Looks like a reef around the plate. But this is the second set that I sold. I sold another set the other day. I believe you guys saw that. They're a little bit smaller plates. They were like holster plates, but I picked up a whole set for a little or nothing, and we're making good money on these. Making really good money on these. This next item is a watch. I really don't pick up watches a whole lot because I don't know a whole lot about them. I don't know much about them, so I really kind of steer away from them. But when you come across something that looks unique to me, like this one right here, it looked unique to me. You guys can see that. I paid $3 for this. This is a Disney Mickey Mouse through the years LTD EDT collector's watch. It works, just needs a battery. This sold for $38. It went out the door for $38.96. I got $3 into that. Let's see. The next item is going to be a Mr. Coffee pot. It is new, open box. Show you guys. Oh, somebody's blowing a horn at me. There's the things there. Let me see who's blowing the horn. Hold on one second. My wife is blowing a horn at me. I don't know why. But this is a Mr. Coffee maker, a pot. Guys, if you're not selling parts and pieces of stuff like that for small appliances, you're missing out there too. They do sit for a while, but they do sell. This was sold for 50% off on a discount. Like I said, it's set for a while. It takes up a lot of space, so I was trying to get rid of it. And so it sold for it went out the door for $18.67. Yes. You want to say hi?
No, I was gonna see if I could trade you some popcorn chicken for taking me home.
But I'm live. I can have the popcorn chicken, but I told you I'd call you when I was ready.
I know, but I don't want to come back
I ain't even got packed up yet.
I know, I don't want to come back out.
Oh, well.
Just bring me home. Tell me to be back in 5 minutes.
They're not going to stick around and wait and look at a blank screen.
I'll tell them to go pee, get a snack, and reach back in 5
Can
minutes.
y'all hear her? Can y'all hear her talking? Look, 5 people just dropped out of the room.
Tell them go pee, get a snack, and come back.
She said, "Are you for real?"
For real.
Man, God, Timmy. All right. I just want to run her home, guys. It ain't gonna take long at all.
Across the field.
It's across the field, guys. Because Jace, I didn't know one thing I left out. I could drive a golf cart to my new house. Take the chicken. Oh, I got the chicken, brother. Yeah, you're right, Texas Bandit. You won't put me on the couch. You're right. Actually, I won't be put on the couch. I'll be put in the camper. Guys, I understand if you have to go or whatever. I get that. I will be right back. If those of you just want to sit here and watch an empty screen, man, when somebody comes in, you usually let them know. I'm just going to run home real quick and come right back. I do apologize.
Tell them to run security here. If they see anybody walk by, tell them to get out.
Oh, yeah. There you go. But I will say this. That's everything that's sold. We did finish all what's sold already. The rest of the video is going to be, well, you know what? I was going to sit here and pack while we chit and chat, but I'll just go ahead and call it. We'll call it because I got to take it home and all that, and that'll be fine. But I want to thank everybody for coming in. I want to thank everybody for joining me. And I want to thank everybody that has supported me in my YouTube journey. I greatly appreciate it. And hey, you guys, we'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, everyone.